Hello and welcome back to BS Rugby. And on Sunday, Wales got the job done over Fiji, winning 38 points to 23. But I think we can all agree it was certainly not a perfect performance from Wales. And Fiji, fair play to them, put in a heck of a performance. This is my tactical review of the game. We're going to look at some screenshots from the game, have a look at what went well for Wales in certain areas. What do they need to improve on? What went well for Fiji and what do they need to improve on? And where does this leave both teams? As always, if you go on to enjoy this review, please do hit the subscribe button. It's free to do, helps grow the channel. Leave a like on the video if you go on to enjoy, and make sure to let me know in the comments down below your thoughts on this game. But let's go through all the tries. Let's have a look at what went right for Wales and what went wrong. Let's do it. So let's start with Fiji's first try. Fiji actually burst out the blocks and were fantastic and deservedly got their opening score. And I want to bring this graphic up of their pre-try. As you can see here, the ball at the base of the breakdown. Wales have 3 players circled in red. I will bring a closer screenshot up in just a second. Just to give you an aerial view, that is the position that Wales are in once that ball comes out. Behind the defensive line, you have Liam Williams covering, while you have Adam Beard, I believe it's Ellis Jenkins, and you have another player out wide. For Fiji, they've got Ben Volavolo who's going to receive the pass. You've then got Viliame Mata, you've got the try scorer, and you've got a winger. So there are numbers there for Fiji. But if we have a look here at this close screenshot, what you will notice is the gap between Adam Beard and his teammate. The gap is just way too big. And because Fiji have that extra man, Adam Beard is caught in 2 minds here, whether to go for Ben Volavola, take him out, or to hold him, to stand him. And he decides to go with the wrong option. The man beside him actually is Dan Biggar, and Dan Biggar probably doesn't get it right. He goes for Mata. It's a lovely dummy run from the Fijians, and Viliame Mata breaks through the first tackle, feeds it into his teammate, and his teammate goes over for the opening try. And for Wales, as you can see from that graphic there, it's very, very basic defending. It's nothing complicated. It's having enough men out there. And Fiji, fair play, draw the man in and release the pass at the perfect time. It's a lovely offload. And as I said, Fiji get the opening score of the game. And I think for Wales, the big thing in these early stages were, and it was said in comms many times, was that we were trying to play too open, too much like the Fijians. What you need to do against Fiji is wrestle control of the game. Keep it controlled, keep it disciplined, keep it in the places such as the set pieces, because if you let it get scrappy, and we'll show in another try from Fiji how that did happen, it can massively affect you. And I think Wales noticed this quite early on. After that, Ryan Elias got a try from the driving maul. Very simple try, nothing much, to be honest, to report on that. It's a driving maul, and the line out once again was much better than it was against the All Blacks, something that Wayne Pivac and his coaching team will certainly take a lot of positives from. The next big situation in the game was the Fiji red card to Aroni Sau. 100% a red card. He makes a tackle on Johnny Williams. And when Johnny Williams is on the floor, he then just leans into him and hits him with the shoulder. Absolutely no need to do it. He's made the tackle. There's just no need to do it. This image here shows the area of contact. He's on the floor. He's made the tackle. Tackle's completed. And he goes in on him. And it's just silly because Fiji were very much in the game, probably the better side for, I'd say, maybe 50, 60 minutes of this game. And with 15 men on the pitch, could easily have won this game. And for their discipline, it really cost them 2 yellow cards as well. Something certainly for them to look at, because other than that, they were brilliant and defended heroically throughout the match. But as I said, they had that red card and 2 yellow cards, and that would come to tell as Kieran Hardy got Wales' second try. As you can see from this graphic here, there's a scrum just underneath the posts, and Kieran Hardy's feeding. You can see the Fiji defence have 5 on the try line. The one on the far left is watching Louis Rees-Zammit, and he is also keeping an eye out on one of the centres. Now, what Wales have done really well here is they've set up 3 or 4 options, really. They have the quick runner in Johnny Williams, who's closest to the scrum in the biggest red circle. You have Dan Biggar directly behind the scrum, who at any point can receive that ball and spread it out either way. So he's always got that option. And then I believe it's Liam Williams who is out here behind Dan Biggar. And he, once again, is an option. He can go either way. He can go to the left or he can go to the right. For the 2 defenders out wide by that DHL sign in the corner there. They have to keep eyes here on these two wingers. It's their men that they have to watch, leaving a huge space between the right-sided defender and, of course, here between the posts. The gap is just way too big, and Kieran Hardy, like any good scrum half, spots the gap and crashes over for a try. And to be honest, you can't really blame all that much on Fiji. They've lost a man in the scrum, so the scrum is not going to be so powerful because they've got another man in the bin. They've got a red card, a winger who would cover one of those positions. And at that point, it wasn't, are Wales going to score a try? It was when at that point, really, because as you can see from the graphic, once again, the gaps are just so big. They could have fired it out to Louis Rees-Zammit, who probably would have been in. There was a 4-on-3 on one side, and potentially there could have been a 4-on-3 on the other side. And as I said, Kieran Hardy crashed over to get Wales the lead in this one. And at that point, you felt like Wales would kick on, would look to improve. But being Welsh, we certainly didn't do that. And Fiji actually got the next try. And oh my word, what a try it was. Absolutely fantastic. And actually just the way we know that Fiji like to play. And I'll show you a graphic in a second that shows where Wales went completely wrong in terms of our setup and the way that we look to play in this situation. And it was an interesting decision that we made in this situation. And I'll certainly go through it now. So as you can see from this graphic, Dan Biggar is the man in the small red circle. He has received the ball. I think Wales have actually turned it over at this point. We're leading 16 points to 14. It's in the second half, and he decides to kick. If you look at where all the Wales players are, they're all on one side of the pitch, leaving a huge gap on the other side. And this is what Fiji love. They know that they're going to get the ball, and there's going to be about 30, 40 metres of open space to run into, which is exactly what Wales did not want to give to this Fiji's team. Dan Biggar is clearly going for the 50-22. He spotted the gap in behind, but the Fijian winger, I think it's Tuisova, is quick enough to know that the space is there. He gets the ball, calls for the mark, takes the quick tap, beats a couple of players, and then we have this situation where the Wales players have tried to come across. Most of them forwards have tried to come across, not able to, and then it's a straight try just down the line. And the pace of the centre, you're not going to catch him. So it was an interesting decision from Dan Biggar. If he's going to kick that, he has to get it in that situation because our defence is not set. We've counter-attacked quickly. The best thing there would be to keep ball in hand. Just take the ball in hand, take into contact, get men to come out wide, set up your formation, and off you go. But we kicked loosely, and that happened a couple of times, which was a little bit concerning to me. Something that we did against the All Blacks was kick loosely to a team who loves to counter-attack. And that's what they're going to do. And fair play to Fiji. They finished it brilliantly. One of the best tries that we've seen at our stadium this autumn. And unfortunately, it wasn't one of Wales's tries. But there we go. Wales would get their third try of the game. And then from then on, it really was just Wales finishing off the game. This graphic shows it once again. As you can see, the yellow card and the red card really beginning to affect Fiji. As you can see, Wales has been going through the forwards. All the ball is at the base of the breakdown. Kieran Hardy with ball in hand. All the Fijian props are all around the base of the breakdown. Absolutely shattered at this point, you'd imagine. I think this is probably 68th, 69th minutes into the game. So most of them would have been on the field for that duration of time. You have a pod of players here in the big red circle. Any one of them could take that ball, honestly. And so these defenders in the big white circle are focusing on them. And that's fine. They are doing their job, but they need to spread out a little bit quicker than that. But again, with two men down, you just don't have the numbers to do that. As you can see here, the second white circle in the middle, he is focused on either Johnny Williams or Willis Halaholo. So those are his targets. Right to the back of the picture, you got Liam Williams, who is going to wrap around to come inside of Johnny Williams and to the left of Alex Cuthbert. And then you got Joshua Tuisova, who is watching Alex Cuthbert. So straight away, there's just a massive overlap there. And really for Wales, it's actually quite good awareness from Dylan Lewis, I believe it is. He gets the pass and he pops it straight back to Kieran Hardy, who does a lovely wraparound. Plays it into the backs, and the backs just go through the the passes. And as you can see there, it's a 4-on-2, 4-on-1 really at that point. As Dan Biggar gets it, he's got Nick Tompkins, Liam Williams, and Alex Cuthbert. And fair play to Alex Cuthbert. He actually finishes it really well because Tuisova actually gets over really, really well. Ben Volavola also trying to get over. But good to see Alex Cuthbert finish that chance. It wasn't an easy chance to finish, but again, that discipline just really costing the Fijians, really costing them, and just not having enough numbers then. And then it was very simple rugby. You taught as a kid, draw the man in and then play it out. And that's what Wales had to do in that situation. The next try, though, for Wales was a little bit more controversial. The Louis Rees-Zammit try. Now, all credit has to go to Louis Rees-Zammit. He's backed himself with a kick, electrically fast, and he gets there. My initial reaction was try, but watching it back, I thought he knocked it on and then put it down. I thought he knocked it on and then put it down, but the referee deemed that he hadn't after looking at the TMO, but I'm still of the opinion that it shouldn't have been a try. But don't take anything away from Louis Rees-Zammit. It's a fantastic kick, fantastic chase, absolute blistering pace, and fair play to him. And he's certainly a shining star for us. And yeah, really excited to see what he can do for the future. And at that point, once again, the fatigue of Fiji, 13 men, 14 men against 15. They just weren't going to be able to compete at that point in the game. The final Wales try just really highlights that fatigue once again. As you can see in the top left, 81 minutes and 45. The clock's in the red. Fiji down to 14. And Wales, it's a lovely break actually from Nick Tompkins. But look at that. You know, Nick Tompkins could pass to Liam Williams. He could pass to the two guys to his left. And it's down to one guy to try and stop that. And you can just see how tired the Fijians are. One's on his knees, and they're just the chasing pack at that point. And it's a very simple try for Liam Williams, who runs it in to complete a 38 points to 23 victory for Wales. It's a concerning performance, though, from Wales. Very concerning. I did a watch along here on the channel, and at one point, I honestly believed that Fiji were going to win the game. And if Eroni Sau had not got himself sent off with that absolutely stupid moment of madness, this Fiji team really could have beaten us and could have had the Welsh Rugby Union really thinking seriously about the future of Wayne Pivac, because the identity of this Wales team, it seems very confused. And it seems as if the game plan that was set up for this game was the wrong one. You noticed in the first 20 minutes, we tried to play like Fiji way too much, opening the game up, which perfectly suits the way that Fiji want to play. And we are not better than Fiji at the way Fiji want to play. So the fact that we're trying to play like that just plays straight into their hands. And the fact that the coaching team set them up to play like that slightly concerns me. But we had the awareness to change it. We had the awareness to go to the basics, use our big ball carriers. But I've got to say, Fiji were excellent throughout the day. They defended heroically. Their scrum was very good. Our scrum, once again, didn't look great, if I'm being totally honest. But you've got to give it to Fiji. They took their opportunities when they could, but for their ill discipline. I mean, when you're down to 14 men for, 60 minutes of the game, 50 minutes of the game, it's always going to be a really, really tough ask for you to stay in the game and stay competitive. But the one area of concern as well I have for this game for Wales is these stats. Now, the top stats that you see are from the game against South Africa. So this is what it looks like against South Africa. So Rucks won 69 for Wales, 89 for the Springboks. Rucks lost 5 to the 3 of the Springboks. Breakdown steal 6 to our 2. Now, we were getting the ball out fairly quick, but once again, the Springboks were on top. So the breakdown was a big issue in that game. But I think you can expect that because the breakdown is something that the Springboks are well known for. They bring the bomb squad on. They're very, very good at that. But against Fiji, I don't think you'd expect the levels of what we had. And it was a real concern for me. Breakdown steal 6 to the 2 again in favour of Fiji. Fiji are in the pink. Rucks lost only 2, Fiji 8 for us. Now, don't forget, we had 2 extra men on the pitch. That should never be an issue, really. And although the Fijians are very physical, that is a massive concern. Rucks won 99 to us, 71 to us because we had more ball naturally. And our speed of ball actually throughout the game was okay on the whole, but it wasn't amazing. I thought Thomas Williams came on and actually had an impact in that sense, getting the ball out that little bit quicker. And with the spaces that we had later on the game, we knew we could open the game up that little bit. But the fact that we're struggling against Fiji at the breakdown. Yes, they're physical. Yes, they're big. Yes, Sam Matavesi had an incredible game at the breakdown. That should not be happening. And I really think we're missing the likes of Navidi, Tipperick, all of those who do great work at the breakdown. We're really missing their effect in games where they're able just to compete and get that quick ball. We saw with Ireland, the physicality they had at the breakdown against the All Blacks was just incredible. And that's what enabled them to keep the possession, not allow the All Blacks to turn the ball over in the breakdowns and be able to counter like they did against us. And so it seems like we don't have that specialist jackler. Although Ellis Jenkins was brilliant against the Springboks, he just didn't really have that big an effect in this one. I'm not sure why, but he didn't. So the breakdown is a concern for Wales. It's something that we were very good at. And I do think, as I said, we're missing the likes of Navidi and the likes of Tipuric as well. So where do Wales go from here? Well, Australia will pose a very different type of game. It won't be as loose, but they do like to throw the ball about. Australia really struggled in the scrum. James Slipper, especially if he starts, I think that is somewhere we can target Australia. The kicking game is going to be really important, and I think Pivac will go with his strongest side. Is it a must-win? I wouldn't say so. I wouldn't say we have to win. What I want to see from us is an identity and sticking to a plan that will work. The fact that we went out to play against Fiji the way we did baffles me, to be honest. I don't understand why we went out to play like that, who we thought we were to be able to do that. We're not the All Blacks. We're not at that level. Yes, we can build towards that, but we're not at that level yet. We have to learn to adapt, which we eventually did in this game. But it's a win, and that's the big thing. It's a win. Pivac, I think if he'd have lost all 4 games this autumn, there'd have been serious question marks, not only from the Welsh Rugby Union, but from Welsh rugby fans and from myself personally. But the bigger concern for me is the lack of identity. I do think that's something that needs to be fixed pretty quick. But of course, Pivac took a while to get going at the Scarlets, but this is Wales. It's a step up. It's a level above. The level is much higher here. And 2 years out from a World Cup, there are concerning things there, but there are also some positives. Great to see Christ Shunza again, his debut, 19 years old. Fantastic to him. So congratulations to you, Christ. Well done, mate. Fantastic to see that. Thomas Williams came off and did really well. Nick Tompkins, I thought, stepped in very late in the day. Wasn't expecting to start and had a really good performance. Halahola off the bench, once again, really good. And for me, I think he should start against the Australians. But there we go. That's my tactical review of this game. A little bit different. Hope you have enjoyed. If you have, please do hit the subscribe button down below. It's massively appreciated. Leave a like on the video. It helps the video to do pretty well. Please do let me know your thoughts in the comments. Where do Wales go from here? Where do Fiji go from here? What impressed you from both sides? And there'll be lots of videos later on in the week in the build-up to next weekend's Autumn Nations series. Thank you very much for watching. Take it easy, folks, and I'll see you later.